Welcome to the AM News. The details now. 266 containers fully loaded with antiretroviral drugs, insecticide-treated nets, rapid diagnostic test kits, cartridges and others remain exposed to the weather at Tema Port for over a year as the government expects donors to cover the $3.6 million clearance cost. Now, according to the CSOs, the delay in clearing the much-needed health commodities severely impacts healthcare delivery in the country. Speaking at a press conference, spokesperson for the group and president of the Ghana HIV and AIDS Network, Ernest Amoabeng-Otsim, emphasized that a major health disaster looms if the government does not immediately order the clearance of the goods.
We, the leadership of the coalition of CSO networks in HIV, TB, and malaria, wish to bring to the attention of the media and the general public our intention to present a petition to the presidency and parliament on the continued lockup of Global Fund donated health commodities at Tema Port. The commodities in reference, valued at more than $40 million, have been wasting away at the port since May 2023. They comprise antiretrovirals for treatment of HIV, medications for treatment of TB, ACTs for treatment of malaria, insecticide-treated nets, rapid diagnostic test kits, and gene expert cartridges, among others. The situation has currently created stockouts in health facilities across the country, leading to needless loss of lives and frustration for health workers. The essence of our intended action, therefore, is to draw the attention of the presidency and parliament to the looming public health emergency if no immediate actions are taken on the matter. As we speak, we are not sure of the storage conditions of the commodities. We are not sure whether these delicate commodities are being sheltered under the right temperatures or they are being exposed to the vagaries of the weather. Our greatest fears are that if no action is taken now, by the time the medications are cleared, some may have expired or may no longer be safe for human consumption.
Blamed the government for its insistence on the donor Global Fund paying the levies and port charges amounting to some $3.6 million as a reason for the delay in clearing the much-needed drugs. However, the CSOs have revealed plans to stage a major protest on April 17th to draw attention from the presidency and parliament to avert the impending health catastrophe.
According to government, the required amount in taxes and levies and port charges for the clearance of the commodities will be $3.6 million. The Global Fund raised concerns about this amount and reminded government that as part of the framework agreement between the Ministry of Health, Ministry of Finance, and the Global Fund, they are not supposed to pay taxes and levies to commodities they donate freely to the country. They also pointed out their relations with other countries where they do not pay such levies and taxes. Regrettably, government insisted on the payment, and this is what led to the deadlock in the clearance process, which has festered to date. In view of the above, we, the leadership of CSO networks, whose area of operations mainly focus on HIV and AIDS and malaria and TB, plan to stage a mass public demonstration to present a petition to the presidency and parliament for immediate action on these two critical issues.
Chief Executive of the National Health Insurance Authority, Dr. Abwaj, has unveiled an ambitious plan to ensure that every Ghanaian receives at least one annual medical checkup. The initiative is part of his vision to address the country's existing health threats and proactively identify potential risk, ultimately fostering a healthier population nationwide. In a yet-to-be-aired interview with JoyNews' Raymond Akwa, Dr. Abwaj announced that Ghanaians who are not yet registered under the scheme will be captured when they visit to the hospital for their checkup.
When I was in the Ghana Health Service, we started with what we call the wellness centers, okay? So the holistic assessment of the Ghana Health Service now assesses the wellness centers in the various hospitals. At least we want all the district hospitals to have the wellness clinics. But my proposal will not really need the wellness clinic, but it is part of, because that's a broader something that we talk of, because it will be different packages within. Then we secured funding from USAID, a project called Accelerating Social and Behavior Change Project. That's about $15 million for a pilot under our network of practice, which is currently being implemented by the Ghana Health Service. But that was just to be a pilot. But under the promotive preventive benefit package, I have singled out just one important thing that the nation needs, the medical check. And I'm saying that it doesn't take much to obviously do that. So whether you are sick or not, I'm giving you the opportunity to go to the to go to hospital settings and just have your vitals checked. We will send you a text message. When it's because we have the data, so we'll send you a text message. We have our membership, so we'll send you a text message to remind you. Just go to any health facility and check your vitals under that benefit package. Now, under what we call the Ottawa Charter, okay, point 5 says that we should reorient health services towards prevention is better than cure. The Ottawa Charter started in 1978, okay? Advanced countries, they've been doing it. The lower middle countries, we've not been doing it. So I'm saying that Ghana, we are starting.
I'm asking whether you are targeting every Ghanaian or just those 57 or more. This is 2022. I don't know the 2023 figure.
So I'm targeting every Ghanaian. In any way, every Ghanaian do pay for the NHIS by indirect tax.
Yes.
So what I'm just saying, and it will help us to even boost our membership anyway. It will help us to boost our membership. So the fact of the matter is, because every Ghanaian pays for it, we need to also address the equity component.
Now, be on the lookout. The full interview airs on Upfront on the JoyNews channel on Wednesday. Now, moving on to other stories on healthcare improvement. Geoscientists and healthcare practitioners the Dean of the School of Geoscience at the University of Energy and Natural Resources, Professor Emmanuel Ahen, is advocating for a partnership between geoscientists and healthcare practitioners that would lead to safeguarding the health and well-being of communities. Speaking at the World Geoscientists and Geologists Day at Doma in the Bono region, Professor Ahen said such interdisciplinary collaboration holds the potential to revolutionize preventive healthcare in Ghana by taking advantage of the knowledge and research from geosciences. Precious Semevo has more.
The celebration of World Geoscientists Day at the Doma campus of the University of Energy and Natural Resources was marked by an exhibition and a lecture on the theme, Geoscience, a Key Entity in Addressing Preventive Health in Ghana. Various speakers expressed worry about the inability to embrace the knowledge and research of geoscientists, the study of the earth and its processes to mitigate environmental, health and other concerns of the country. Chrysler Akwe Ankra is the president of the Ghana Institute of Geosciences.
We went to school to study the earth, its compositions, and also how it's being formed and the principles that governs its formation. By so doing, we know some of the intricate composition, be it the mineralogy, the minerals that are in it, and those minerals that can also have negative impact on our health, especially when they cross certain threshold, when we become overexposed, and then the medical science can then bring on board some of their knowledge in helping to deal with it or helping to mitigate the negative impact that it will attempt to cause.
Speaking on the topic, origins of emerging non-communicable diseases, the concealed perils to public health, the Dean of School of Geosciences, UNE, Professor Emmanuel Ahin, said a partnership between geoscientists and healthcare practitioners is the right way to attain better healthcare.
What we are not doing right is that we are not involving all disciplines that have something to contribute as far as our health is concerned. That is why I am propagating this message that it's time, it's long overdue. There should be a partnership between geoscientists and the health practitioners. So this meeting that we're having here today is to talk about possible consortium which will be formed so that together we will address this problem. We know that the people who have degrees in public health don't know anything about geology. So we will let them have some top up here, and then together with their public health knowledge, we will address this problem.
Former Health Minister and MP for Doma Central, Kwakwajiman Menu, envisaged the Ghanaian economy and beyond would also benefit from the research work of Ghanaian students.
I believe that this is time for us to collaborate to see how we can utilize and make good use of research findings in our country. And I want to believe that one day we should also benefit from students' projects in Ghana, in the Ghanaian economy as well, so that we can also go out there and market what we have in our system.
Precious Semevo, JoyNews, Doma.
Now, the median of roads should ideally be a green space, landscaped with flowers, trees, and beautiful plants. But that is not the case on the Medina Highway. Looking dry and dusty, these medians are now being used as a transit spot by waste collectors. On Field Exhibition today, Hannah Odame tells us what she saw when she drove on that stretch. Take a look.
1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That's the number of heaps of rubbish on display in between the highways on the Medina Zongo stretch at the La Nkwantanan district in the national capital. Pedestrians call this an eyesore, especially for a city which yearns to be the cleanest in Africa.
It's very abhorrent. They have to charge those who are around too. You are sitting here selling, and after that you go and put garbage here. It's not nice. Those should change their attitude.
Those who make, gather and dump the rubbish in between the roads say it is the assembly which has not been responsible in collecting the rubbish.
The waste collectors don't come to pick the rubbish, and so this place is always filthy and smelling. The entire stretch is filled with rubbish. Why? This leads to cholera and malaria. Government should pay the collectors so they can do their work. I dare ask, is this the country we say will be the cleanest in Africa soon?
Also contesting are some of the traders who sell along the highway and are being blamed for generating such filth and not dumping them in designated bins.
When we close from work, we collect all the rubbish we make. We always sweep our working areas, especially when we close. And the waste collectors come for the rubbish every morning, but today they are late.
Fed up with the constant spectacle of rubbish littered all over the stretch, this regular user of the road proposes a solution.
You see, the rubbish is not from the Togo people, it's not from Burkina Faso, it's not from Cote d'Ivoire, it's from the Ghanaians. The ordinary man who is walking on the street, you see, you come and pick it today, tomorrow when you come and meet it again. So now what are you going to do? So this one, me, I don't put blame on the Zoom Lion, because the Zoom Lion, now no place they're supposed to put the dustbins. So they will tell the people, you put it on the middle of the road, so after another day they will come and pick it. So we will talk. Government will go, government will come, government will go, government will come. We are in the same problem.
Frustrated about the regular sight of rubbish, this road user also struggles to recommend to JoyNews a lasting solution he believes would help keep the city clean.
I don't know. We too, we are the cause, you see, so at least the assembly should at least give us a lot of these bins, rubbish bins, so that if anything, we can dump inside, instead of putting it on the ground.
From Medina here in Accra, I am Hannah Wadami for JoyNews.
And that's our latest episode on our series, Filth Exhibition. To other stories now. Vice President Dr. Bawumia has declared that government has removed all ghost names from the public payroll system. His announcement comes 2 months after the Controller and Accountant General, Kwesi Kwenin Bosompim, made similar declaration at the 2024 Controller and Accountant General's Department Annual Conference in Kumasi, in the Ashanti region. Speaking at the Chief Justice's Leading Justices Forum in Accra, the Vice President, Dr. Bawumia, touted the contribution of the Ghana card system to the eradication of ghost names from the payroll and how much the move has saved the country.
We've also seen through digitalization that you can deal with corruption. We have now eliminated ghost workers at the Controller and Accountant General's office just by using the Ghana card, because the ghosts don't have fingerprints, and we have therefore been able to eliminate them. This has saved, for example, SNIT 480 million Ghana cedis by eliminating 29,000 ghost pensioners, and National Service by eliminating 44,000 workers has saved over 356 million Ghana cedis. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. Ladies and gentlemen, let me use this opportunity to encourage all the key players in the justice delivery value chain, and indeed all of us gathered here today, to give every support that we can to support this vision of the Chief Justice so it can deliver on its goals and target to the benefit of our country. As a government, we shall continue to do more for the judicial service to ramp up the e-justice system to other levels of the court and beyond the high courts in Accra.
Their core function is to make laws for the country and represent the interests of their constituents. But that has expanded into other areas such as attending funerals, paying medical and school fees, and many others. However, some members of parliament say this additional workload is taking a toll on them financially and health-wise, with some saying that the job is becoming increasingly stressful. Some weeks ago, there was a discussion on the floor on parliament about how MPs can maintain a better quality of life during their tenure and after they finish serving. Zuleha Nuhu has more in this report read to you.
Mr. Speaker, at the time, Professor Michael Quay, as chair of the board, needed to help a former MP with 12,000 Ghana cedis. And this MP was requesting to do a surgery, a prostate surgery. I want to keep the name because...
It's a typical day in Parliament, where members of Parliament passionately debate matters concerning their constituents. However, today's focus shifts inward as concerns about the health of MPs take center stage. Tamale South MP and former minority leader Haruna Idrisu had raised concerns on the floor of the House about the quality of health of former members of Parliament and incumbent members of parliament.
The Honorable Muntaka is saying, I know we've tried at the board that even the medical facility in parliament should be made open and free to former members of parliament.
Asawase MP Muntaka Mubarak emphasized the urgent need to address the health challenges encountered by members of parliament both during and after their terms of service. Outside the parliamentary chamber, MPs reflect on the toll their work takes on their well-being. In Shayeso MP, Stephen Amwa means no words as he said the work is stressful.
Honestly speaking, I think the word stress is even an understatement. It's extremely stressful, extremely, very, very stressful. And it's stressful because of what it entails. The work is extremely cumbersome because you need to work here. You need to attend to your constituents and then even Ghana at large. And now they are shifting almost everything about the country to MP. So I think even it moves beyond the core functions of a parliamentarian. If somebody has any issue, being social, being developmental, being economical, being financial, they call the MP. So it's getting too tedious. Because I was talking to a couple of my colleague MPs, and I was telling them that at least every year they should check like twice. Because I was trying to recommend a particular doctor specialist to them. But I think the issue about stress is very, very important. It has to be an integral part of whatever we are doing here. And it's good that you guys have started this. It's very, very important. You've done well. I think you're on point because I think most of us here don't really have time for our health. That is what I think.
Pusiga MP Ladi Ayamba highlighted that the health and financial stability of MPs are significantly impacted by their responsibilities.
Very, very, very stressful. Very stressful. We have personal issues. We have community issues. We have religious issues. We have constituency at large issues. You have people who will come to you about ill health. And they come to you with all sincerity that you have to help them. You have nowhere to turn to, nobody to give you. The unfortunate and the painful aspect is that people rather tend to always be talking about common fund, MP's common fund, MP's common fund. This thing is supposed to come quarterly. So people come about health, people come about education, that is school fees. Others come about even marriage. Person wants to marry and comes to you as an MP that you should help or support that person, him or her, to marry. Both men and women, or boys and girls, they do.
Bolebamboy MP Yusuf Sulemana echoed the same sentiments, indicating that the overwhelming responsibilities of MPs have a profound effect on their health.
Let me admit that indeed my work is very stressful. You have three major constituencies to look at. One, you want to serve the interests of your constituency. In that regard, whether the person is MPP, the person is NDC, that's not the issue. Your concern is how do you ensure that your people feel your impacts, having selected you to come and represent them here. Then, of course, it is your party that brought you to Parliament. So that's another constituency out of the larger constituency that you have to also give some special attention to. And it also comes with this stress. Before you now come to the House, Parliament here, a lot of things to read, a lot of things to learn. And sometimes for me, wherever I find myself in any hospital facility, I try to take the basic, do the basic checks. And so you see me taking my blood pressure, you see me taking my temperature and all of that. But I try as much as possible to do twice in a year. And as I age, I think that I should be able to increase the number of times I've been do checkups.
Executive Director of ASEPA, Dr. Rashid Rahman, says government's intervention is necessary to address the health challenges faced by incumbent and former MPs.
Called Honorable Olu Aringo is a known reformist in Kenya, and he led the Parliamentary Service Commission in Kenya many years ago to go through a lot of reforms. And today, members of parliament in Kenya are one of the best catered for parliamentarians in the world in terms of their financial kind of well-being. And I believe that that is the number one. I mean, if you ask them as human beings, apart from being about, first of all, the pension or whatever end of service benefits that they should be entitled to. If we take away that business of, I mean, collateralizing their pension against the vehicles that they use for their official work, I think that would be a big first step. I think the second one, and this is my advice to former MPs, you know, in this country, once an MP or once a politician, people always want to live at that level of lifestyle. If you are a teacher and you go into parliament, tomorrow when you leave parliament, you should go back and do your teaching job. I mean, you have a profession. But most of them, once they leave parliament, they want to live the life of a politician. Apart from the fact that maybe financially they will be better off, I think even your state of mind, when you sit at home and you are not doing anything, it affects your health significantly. You know, the Speaker of Parliament was quoted as saying that when MPs leave Parliament, 3 years later they die. But the point she was making at the time, because she was somebody that we work with very closely, was the fact that she was trying to bring something to Parliament that would help prepare members of Parliament, a program that would help prepare members of Parliament for life after Parliament. So maybe give those who don't have proper careers, try to orient them, try to help them develop some careers and so on. In our Parliament, we don't have anything like that. So things like that could help significantly, so that, you know, whilst you are there, you have 4 years. Some are lucky to get maybe 8 years or more. If there are some kind of avenues, some mechanisms to prepare them for life after Parliament, even psychologically, even getting professional counselors to come and speak to them about things that they can do after Parliament, I think that can significantly help. Otherwise, I know there are conditions. Sometimes some of them cannot even afford fuel, I mean, for their vehicles. Because if you don't have a job, you don't have a pension.
Well, that's how we're wrapping up for the AM News right here on the AM Show. Thanks for staying with us. Up next is a news review.